music. It's for my people that really never had nothing. The money will come, they do it because they love it. It's for my niggas who's tired of being tired. Never take a seat, stand up like Richard Pryor.
Today's episode was brought to you by American Vision Solar. Today's episode was brought.
Each one of us can build wealth, replace scarcity with abundance, replace average with greatness, replace uncertainty with conviction. Success is there for the taking. Small business owners, entrepreneurs, startups, and the ambitious. Grant Cardone tells you what you have to do to prosper in this new economy. He'll inform you in everything business, finance, and career related. Get ready. Find the knowledge for your success. It's all here, right now, in the Cardone Zone.
On your plexiglass, I'm snapping back up on your station. Keep style elevated, you feeling this sensation. To a higher zone, you are the unknown.
To a special edition of the Cardone Zone brought to you by Whatever It Takes Network. My name's Grant Cardone. Welcome. You've made it to the zone, the place where we talk about business, career, and finance, where we do whatever we can to get your game on, baby, to get you ready, to get you going, to get you where you need to be, where you deserve to be, and should be now and forever. Today we're going to be talking about real estate, apartment buildings. Many of you have written in. You know a little bit about what I've done with real estate. I bought a home when I was 29 years old. Bought a house in Houston, Texas. Rented that out for a little while when the people moved out. It was good while I was renting it. And then when they moved out, it was like, oh, wow, man, I'm 100% vacant. And I sold that house, broke even, got my money out of it, and swore I would never, ever buy a single family home again, at least not as an investment. If you look in the news right now, you're going to hear that there's been a housing rebound in America. If you look a little deeper, you're going to find out most of that is being supported by apartment construction, apartments, multifamily, income-producing properties. U.S. home building rebounded in September on the strength of apartment construction. This is Wall Street Journal. On the strength of apartment construction, I have been telling you now for at least 4 years, this is the single best investment. Not stocks, not gold, not silver, nothing, not oil. This is the single best investment you and your family can understand, learn, manage, and get your hands around, okay? This category, multifamily, also called apartments, has provided a humongous boost to the home building construction. Almost 65% of all new home construction in the first quarter or in the last quarter is attributed to apartments. Housing starts rose 6.3% in September, that from a month earlier, to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1 million units. 65% of that is apartments, okay? Now, let me give you this. Multifamily construction is doing surprisingly well recently. So far in 2014, the figure for multifamily is 65%. Part of their story is demographics. Here's why I want you to learn about apartments. Here's why I want you to learn about it. I don't care if this is your main business. This is a secondary income for everyone out there. This is a potential for you to actually set your family up in a way to first give you motivation at your main job, but to have money that you can protect from being destroyed. It can multiply. You can use leverage. And I'm going to tell you the reason why you want to do this. The demographics in this country would suggest that we're becoming a renter nation. 75 million baby boomers my age are going to be aging, getting older and older, 50 years old, 55, 65, 75. What will they be interested in? Mowing their lawn? Their next big house? No. You're 80 years old, you're not thinking about buying another house. You're thinking about what? I need a safe place to live and somebody to take care of me. There's 75 to 80 million people. On the other end of the spectrum, their grandchildren at 22 years old are not interested in buying a house. They're interested in what? Using cars, using phones, using technology, using computers, using desks, using whatever to get where they need to be. And they're much more interested in being mobile. Again, I'm telling you, demographics, 150 million strong in the United States of America, suggests we are becoming a renter nation faster and faster every day. Okay? So check this out. On top of all that, the reason I want you to start learning about multifamily is the Asian investors are now snapping up U.S. apartment buildings. After snapping up luxury condos and commercial properties in New York, Los Angeles, Asian investors are now training their eyes on the U.S. apartment building market. I know that I've lost deals to Asians, I've lost deals to Russians, I've lost deals to South America. The rest of the world in turmoil is interested in things that produce income out of this country because we're a strong economy compared to others. We're stable. There's 311 million people, half of which appear to be renters. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because you have to pay attention to this. Canada is the largest investor in apartment buildings in the United States. First, and then second is the Asian buyers. How do you get started in apartments? Okay. Why to get started in apartments? Understand apartments. What do you need to do? Do you need to read a book? Here's a book. Okay. Foundations of Wealth, How to Build a Real Estate Empire, Wisdoms from the Best in the Business. I haven't read this book. Okay. This guy right here on the front cover, Caruso, he built the Los Angeles, the most successful shopping center in the country, the Grove in Los Angeles. It's unbelievable. Rick Caruso, he's made hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate. His dad was with Budget Rent-A-Car, gave him his portion, run a budget. He took his fortunes, invested in real estate. I've been studying real estate since I was 15 years old. I've been investing in it since I was 30. It took me 20 years to have the courage to pull the trigger. When I come back from break, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to get started, where to get started. But first, I wanted to make sure you understood that this is a big play, a lifetime play. My name's Grant Cardone. You're in the Cardone Zone. Stay with me.
First direct mail sale we had in helping us sell over 200 new Lexus in one weekend.
We have established relationships with some of the best dealerships in the nation.
When you work with Hamlin Associates, John is from the automotive business. John has a really good grasp of what it takes to make a sale successful, and John is very much worried about your return on investment.
Let us help you go to the next level.
New York Times best-selling author and self-made multimillionaire entrepreneur Grant Cardone has partnered with the Hard Rock Hotel to bring you 10X Your Life at the Hard Rock Hotel Cancun. Reward yourself as you play hard at this all-inclusive luxury experience, and you'll work hard participating in Grant seminars live on November 14th and 15th. These unique seminars were created to help you learn to 10X your finances, 10X your social media, 10X your business, and 10X your life. Visit 10xseminar.com to book your 10X experience now. For rates starting at $463 per night for 3 nights. Seminars, meals, and beverages are included. Stop settling. 10X your finances, reach your dreams, 10X your business, and 10X your life. Take action and go to 10xseminar.com now to book your 10X experience at the Hard Rock Hotel Cancun.
Hey, welcome back to the Cardone Zone, brought to you by Whatever It Takes Network. Hopefully you subscribed. you're watching the show, make sure you subscribe because there will be some changes. For instance, the Cardone Zone, this show is now going to Fridays from Tuesdays, Fridays, 1 p.m. every Friday. And once a month, I'm going to be doing a show on real estate. Let me see the market board. I'm going to be doing a show on real estate to help you, those of you out there that want to learn how to invest in this. How do you get started? Okay, here's the deal. First thing about apartments is you need to get a complete understanding of multifamily. And let me tell you why. And I'm not talking about reading a book, okay? I've had this book for years, and I haven't read the book, okay? I actually have never read a book on buying apartments because what I replaced the book with was actually going out and looking at apartments. The reason why you need to understand apartments, you need to understand all the stuff beyond the plumbing. Don't worry about the plumbing, the roof, all the stuff you don't need to know. You got to get a complete understanding of multifamily so that you one day have the courage to actually write a check to get your first deal under contract. Because if you don't fully understand the demographics, the power of this, the long term, the fact that you will not lose money in this investment, I'm telling you. I'm not a licensed real estate broker. I'm telling you, if you do this right, it will be literally impossible for you to lose your money in the right apartment deal. Short of nuclear devastation on this planet, I believe this. The last business that I will have standing is my real estate business. It's one of 4 companies that I own. It will be the last standing because if everything goes to shit on this planet, literally my apartments will still be there. No technology can replace it. No app can make it go away. Food, water, shelter. I gotta have it. No matter what happened, ISIS, Ebola, I gotta have a place to live. So the second thing I want you to understand is this. You want to start where you live. Don't go try to start in some other market. By the way, get Jared in here. Jared invests in my apartments. I'll just show you how strong this is. He gave me some. Jared, I got a little something for you. Okay? I have a check here for you. What does that say?
That one's $470.
Okay. $463. Here's another one.
$1,337, and then I had one from $1,240 today.
Okay, that's called passive money. Passive money. Passive money is money that you don't work for anymore. Your money works for you. He took his money, put it in my deal. He's never even been to the properties. He doesn't even know if there is properties. It might be a Ponzi scheme. Jared, hook him in. Just give him a couple checks. Get him all, oh, man, I'm good. Okay. But in this case, he's getting money every month. Now, that's not my money that I'm giving him. That's the property giving him money. That property basically generated more cash than it sent out in expenses. So where do you start? You start where you live. I do not need you to go on LoopNet and look in Birmingham if you don't live in Birmingham, okay? If you do live in Birmingham, I want you to look literally within 5 miles of where you live because you're not going to go buy your first deal. Let's face it, you don't have enough confidence to go buy a deal yet. You don't know enough about real estate to buy a deal. That's why people call me and say, oh man, I'd really like to do it, but I'm so worried about people calling me at night. Dude, the reason you're saying that is because you don't know anything about real estate. Because you want people calling you. Let me tell you, when you got a problem in real estate is when nobody's calling you because nobody's renting the place from you. So the third thing is research, okay? And I'm not talking about a Google search. You cannot learn about apartments on a Google search, and you can't learn about it on LoopNet. You got to go do the dirty, which is you got to look at deals. Now, why buy them? This is the first thing. You got to back up and get an education of why first so that you can stay strong when the world goes to hell. Number one, you preserve capital. What does that mean? When I put money in a deal, okay, when I put $100,000 in a deal, that money, as long as that property is not over leveraged, I don't have too much debt, that money will never go away unless hurricane, tidal wave, nuclear devastation, boom, and then it's insured anyway, okay? Number two, you want to protect yourself. I want to protect myself and my business. My first business was automotive focused. My second business was much broader to lots of people. My third business was apartments, okay? The third business will protect me and my family long term because that income will continue. Number three, you want to create multiple flows of income. I don't care what you do, who you are, how much money you make. You're worth $1 billion. $1 billion guys want passive money coming in from creative multiple flows. Leverage, fourth, leverage. I want leverage. What is leverage? Leverage is the difference between how much I owe on something and how much I had to put down. I had to put down this much, but I got this much debt. That's called leverage. And I get the benefit of all this debt paying me money. Okay, I can explain that in future shows. Make sure you subscribe to Whatever It Takes Network so I can give you a notification each month of when we're doing the real estate show. Debt paid by others. If I buy a deal for $400,000 and I owe the bank $300,000 and I have 30 people renting from me, they are paying the debt down. I'm not. That's another reason. Expenses paid by others and the income. Now, there's some terms that you're going to need to know when you delve into this thing called apartment buildings. I'm going to handle some of those terms in a second, but first I want to talk to Dave from Connecticut. Dave, what's your question?
How are you, Grant?
Good. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing great. First of all, I want to give you, I want to say thank you.
Okay.
I want to say thank you because at a very tough time in my life, I didn't know how to go over the grief. And, the gas and the fuel to get me out of the hole was the first book that I bought was Sell or Be Sold.
Oh.
That was a shocker and it literally opened my eyes. And right after that, I went over 10X, and that was it. I was like, I'm going after my dreams. I'm going after my goals.
Awesome, man. That's great.
Yes, and so back to the investing. The very first thing that people need around them is a savvy agent. I've had clients with me who complain, saying that a lot of the agents, they go a lot by their comparable market thing. Me personally, I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to go after the lowest I can get, and just like you say in a lot of posts that you post, I'm going to get paid either way. So it doesn't matter. So my job, the only job that I can do is go after and fight for the best price I can get for my client.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you in real estate? Is that what you do?
That's right, Grant. Yes.
You sell multifamily, or you sell residential, or what?
I sell everything.
Okay.
I sell everything, and that's one of the best advice. I go after slashing price, reckless. I don't care. I don't go after the market, comparable market, none of that. I don't follow that rule at all. And my lookout is, so I want my guy to win in this transaction.
Yeah. So you're listening to Dave. Dave's a real estate agent. That's one part of real estate that you can look at. He's a slash and burn guy. He's looking at the deal. When I come back from break, I'm going to actually tell you that looking for the best price is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Looking for the best price is one of your biggest mistakes. This is Grant Cardone. You're in the Cardone Zone. Are you tired of missing sales? Come on, be honest. Are you getting all there is in the marketplace? Take an honest look in your mind's eye at your sales team right now. Are they doing everything they can to make that extra sale? If you're tired of watching your salespeople be tongue-tied, not follow up, not know their product, not know what to say at that critical moment, welcome to tiredofmissingsales.com. My name's Grant Cardone. I know your frustrations. Look, whether your people sell over the phone or in person, whether you sell a tangible or an intangible, I can increase the sales of any company by at least 15% guaranteed. Go to tiredofmissingsales.com and I'll show you the top 3 reasons your salespeople don't make those extra sales. Go to tiredofmissingsales.com.
Regardless of your home situation, tax bracket, or way of life, our goal is simple: to improve your quality of life and lower your expenses. With over 30,000 satisfied customers and guaranteed power production for 25 years, it's time to invest in your future. Let's harness the sun together. Visit AmericanVisionSolar.com today.
Are you looking for the keys to success? Are you not sure how to break out and move forward in your life? If you are asking these questions, you need a way to take massive action, a way to develop the right attitude, the right approach, every minute of every day. The Grant on the Go 4-book MP3 package is the solution. Included are all 4 of Grant Cardone's best-selling books and his 100 Ways to Stay Motivated. Download to one device or to all of them. With over 30 hours of content designed for sales, closing, finance, and career, with special exercises to ensure you know the data. Grant on the Go is narrated by Grant Cardone himself, a personal coach for sales, motivation, negotiations, keeping your pipeline full with no blank space on your calendar. An $800 value. On sale now for $229. Order now at grantcardone.com/Grant on the Go. This is a $1 million program. Go to grantcardone.com/Grant on the Go. Be productive, take action, and make the moves that are vital to your success. Order now at grantcardone.com/Grant on the Go today.
Welcome back to the Cardone Zone. Grant Cardone here. I think I can even hear myself a little bit. Hope everybody's doing well on this Friday. This show, the Cardone Zone, has been moved to Friday. So every Friday, put it on your calendar, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once a month, I'll be doing a show just on this topic, how to buy your first apartment deal so that you can get a second flow of income. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, since I'm not being governed by any federal regulations, apartment buildings will be the single best investment you can make for yourself, your family, and your household. I'm telling you, it is a no-brainer deal. It's a simple business. It either makes sense or it doesn't. Dave called in from Connecticut and said, look, it's all about price. I'm going to tell you something. It is not all about price in apartments. The things that I have paid the most money for have typically made me the most money. I bought apartments where I paid all the money, list price, no deal, no grind, no push. I bought a deal in Austin, Texas. I paid him list price for the property, sold it 4 months later for 25% more than I paid for it because I knew what to look for. There's some terms you have to understand. Remember, we're going to be doing this show once a month, so don't expect to get it all today. I'm working on a book right now, and I'm going to be actually delivering webinars on this topic in the future. When you start looking at deals, and I want to challenge you to go look at deals right now. For instance, I can go to LoopNet right now. LoopNet is not where you want to buy a property, but where you want to just start playing around a little bit to find out who's in the space. So I'm going to go to LoopNet right here, and I'm going to pull up a property on 201 Paris Street. Can we pop it up on there? 201 Paris Street in Jacksonville, Alabama. I went in before the show and I said Alabama. That's not it. The other one that I had in there. So I think it's $238,000. So I'm going to go to LoopNet. Why am I going to LoopNet? Because I want to find out what's in my locale. I'm going to take my location if I lived in Birmingham. Here is 8 units, 6,600 square feet, total rentable, $238,000. Now, how's that deal going to work? Okay, it says it has a 15% cap rate. Let me explain to you some terms. First of all, cap rate means if you paid cash for this, they're telling you that it's going to be a 15% return on your money. So if you paid cash for it, a cap rate means, let me take my little Karl Rove board. Y'all know Karl Rove, the political guy? He has a little board. I got a little board too, but my board's a big board. This is a 10X board, bitch, okay? So $238,000 if you paid cash for that board, okay, or that deal, it's going to pay you 15% a year. Based on what they're telling you, this is what that seller is telling you. That would be $23,800 plus about $11,000. So it's going to make you about $34,000 a year on a $238,000 investment. And you're like, Grant, what about the expenses? Those should be included in that number. The $238,000 income will be after not debt, because in this case, in this example, I'm not putting debt on the deal. The cap rate is always based on no debt. When I put debt on the deal, let me take my little board. Okay, I might have to get a big eraser too. When I put debt on the deal, this is what's going to happen. $238,000. Let's say I pay him the full price. Doesn't matter to me. Price shouldn't have anything to do with this deal. The deal either works or it doesn't work, okay? I'm going to put $75,000 down on that deal, and I'm going to finance $163,000, okay? Now, I don't know what the debt on that's going to be. I can figure it out pretty quick. I'm going to multiply times a factor of 0.06. That's just a number I use to make sure my debt's covered. I do everything conservative. What is the 9780? 0.06. The 0.06? So 9780 is my annual debt, okay? I'm going to go in backwards on this deal. That's debt. I just gave them $75,000. Now I need to get that $75,000 down from somebody. If you see a site anywhere on the internet or a book that says how to buy an apartment building with no money down, leave it where you found it. You do not want to buy apartments with no money down. Okay? The point about apartments is the preservation of capital. If you're putting no money down into the deal, what are you preserving? Nothing. That's the first reason that you buy apartments, to preserve that $75,000. You've been out there busting your ass. You're a salesman. You're making money. You go from making $8,000 to $12,000 a month. You got an extra $4,000. You want to push that money aside, pay the taxes on it, save enough of it to one day you got $75,000. You and a buddy going on a deal. You got $75,000. Preservation of capital is a term. Why would you want to buy something with no money down? Completely defeats the purpose of apartments, to preserve capital, to protect your money. You want money down. I don't want to pay cash for this because the debt, the $238 that I'm financing, the interest on it is so low. In fact, it's easier to get debt on an apartment deal than it is to get debt on a house you live in. Why? Because this produces income. Now, we're going to go back over here and look at this. 8 units, 6,600 square feet, garden low rise, da-da-da. I'm going to look through here and see if they have any other financial data. It says, I'm looking at it right now on LoopNet, it has an average income of $3,600 a month. So I'm going to take $3,600, I'm going to multiply it times 12. That's $36,000 plus $7,200. That's $42,200. $42,200 less the debt, $10,000. Let's just round it off. That leaves me $32,000 a year to pay expenses. Now, because I know terms, because I understand real estate a little bit, there's some terms. Cap rate. There's a thing called expenses. What should expenses be? There's 8 units here. I expect the 8 units to cost me about $2,000 a year to fix. That's not what they're going to show, but that's what I know what it's going to cost me. I know I got to spend money on these properties. So let's say it's going to cost $2,000. There's 8 units. It's going to cost me $16,000. This property is going to have a positive cash flow of about $16,000 a year. I invested $75,000. It throws back $16,000. That's a 14% return on my capital. I don't even need to worry about their numbers, okay? They're always going to lie to you. Understand this. Whatever numbers you see on a pro forma, that's a term you need to know. Cap rates, expenses, pro forma. Pro forma is how this will perform in the future. Disregard all pro formas. When you see one, this is what I do with pro formas. I throw them away. I disregard them. I look at historicals. There's a term called trailing 12. When you go to the broker, the gentleman we talked to, and or a seller, you say, look, I need to see your trailing 12. Trailing 12 is the trailing historical last 12 months. And you want to see what that looks like. That's going to tell you the income. It's going to tell you the expenses. It's going to tell you what they spent money on, what they didn't spend money on. It's going to tell you everything. Price per unit. What is this price per unit? That's an important term to know. I want to know how much I'm paying per unit. The underwriting. How is a lender going to underwrite this? If I go borrow money on this, the lender is your friend. In this case, the lender is going to help you underwrite. Underwrite means, will this building support the debt? Which brings me to the last term, and then I'm going to take a caller. DCR. DCR is debt coverage ratio. Debt coverage ratio means on this deal, what's our debt on this? $10,000 a year is our debt. Is that right? On $163,000? Is that right? Yeah, probably is. See how cheap debt is? I can borrow $163,000 for less than $10,000 a year. Debt coverage ratio is this. The bank wants to know that your income is going to exceed the debt, even in worst case scenarios. So I need at least debt coverage ratio 1.25 is the number by most banks and lenders. In this case, I have $16,000. I'm at 1.6 of the debt. Let's take our next caller, Matt from Delaware. Hey, Matt, Grant Cardone here. I hope you got a question on a deal to buy. I can help you buy one of your deals because I'm going to do that every month.
You're going to buy one of my deals every month?
I'm going to help you buy one of your deals, help you make sense of it. Who knows, man, if it's good enough, maybe I'll become an investor in it.
That would be nice.
Let's do it, man. You got a question?
I do have a question. How do you mentioned in one of your earlier shows, You were talking about you wish you would have went to New York and gotten the New York money.
Yeah. I wish.
How do you get hooked up? How do you get hooked up with that?
Well, I mean, the first thing you do, you got to go get an education. I mean, you got to. How would I do it today? You mean?
Or for say I'm just trying to start. I'm trying to get my build up. Do I have to build up to that?
Build up to what? I mean, what do you do? I don't know what you do.
To do a bigger deal.
Bigger deal with who?
Deal. With an apartment complex.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. So look, here's the deal. We're going to New York City right now, and you bring me to a topic that is quite dear to my heart. One place where I look to buy apartments is always in environments where they vote Democratic.
No, I'm not talking about buying in New York. I'm talking about the New York money.
Oh, you want to go tap into some of that dough?
Yeah.
You got to go up there and have a meeting, baby. They're all up there. J.P. Morgan, all the Arbor groups. You need to go in there and tap. You need to have a story to tell. I mean, we're going back to sales now. The thing about multifamily, when you're buying apartment buildings, you got to be a salesman, man. You got to get somebody to pay attention to you, take your phone call, listen to you, pitch your deal. And when you're trying to raise money, if that's what you're trying to do, you got to get in front of the right guys, pitch the deal. The problem in New York is you got to go there and talk about giant, big time money, not this little money I'm talking about right here. You go to New York and say,
did you have a big track record before you started all that?
Well, everybody starts without a track record, man. You got to go do the first deal. First deal I did was 31 apartment. Second deal I did was 38 units. The next deal I did was 48 units. I've done 35 deals. So now I can go there and say, look, I've done 35 deals, $350 million worth of apartments, and never lost a penny. I've been through all the cycles. And then I just got to make that pitch until somebody pays attention to me.
Now, on your second deal, how much money of your own money did you put in?
First deal, I put $350,000 down. So that deal looked like this. Okay, $1.9 million. That was my first deal. I put $450,000 down, and I financed $1,350,000. That thing cash flowed from day one, paid me about 12% a year, every year until I sold it. Now, that's preservation of capital. That's preservation of capital here, okay? Right. $450,000 can't be lost. I bought in a democratic market, okay? Why am I telling you to do that? Because Democrats are liberal people. They're liberal, and they like to protect their environment. They're very conscientious. They don't like building. And when you don't like building in a city, okay, what happens is the rents go up. Miami is a perfect example. San Francisco. Oakland, Los Angeles, L.A., New York, Chicago, all these are democratic. They're democratic environments where people are liberal and they want to protect their environment. And what happens is they don't allow building. Go to Dallas, Houston. These are Republican spaces. Dude, they let you build wherever you want to go. Rents stay a bit lower. Okay. Now, when there's an oil boom and you got oil and gas booming all through the Midwest right now, Oklahoma, Houston, Texas, I shop all these markets. Fargo, North Dakota, people are making freaking so much money in apartments. They're building new apartments and renting them out for big money, but these are boom or bust markets. There's a group called Equity Residential, one of the biggest apartment owners in the world. Now, we're talking hundreds of thousands of apartments, not a couple of thousand apartments or 12 units. We're talking about big multi-billion-dollar companies. They only buy in the Magic Six. The Magic Six, the six markets: San Francisco, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Boston, and there's one more. Wouldn't be Miami. One more. DC, okay? The magical six. That's the only places they invest in. High concentration. What do all six of those markets have in common? They're Democratic states, Democratic cities, okay? They vote Democratic. They're liberal. They're high concentration of people, and wages are typically higher there, but you don't end up with any money because the rent, the real estate, everything's so expensive. Alex from Pensacola, by the way, I love the Pensacola market. I've looked at property there, man. What's up?
What's up, Grant? This is Alex Wright from
Let's buy some apartments, bro. Let's buy some apartments. You got anything down there I can buy?
Yeah, but first let me give you my Twitter handle, @AlexNeelan. You can find me on Instagram, @GoldFreezeRecovery, as well as Facebook.
Dude, I love that. Thank you, man.
Yeah. Hey, I just had one question for you, Grant. I talked to you yesterday. I'm 25 years old, young hustler. I got the bitch money, I'm not going to lie. But what's your best pitch to go to a big investor and get him to let you put your little money in his big deal?
Well, first thing you need to tell that guy, if you're talking about me.
Yeah, you, anybody with the money and.
Well, I'll tell you how Jared. This is how Jared became an investor in my real estate. Okay, he came to me and said, "Look, man, I'll never be a problem." That's the first thing he said. That was the magic words right there, because I didn't need his money. I mean, I'm basically giving Jared money to invest with me because I had already bought the deal. So, you know, I don't know exactly what it is you want to accomplish, whether you just got a little bit of money and you're trying to invest in somebody's deals, or if you're talking about me or somebody else. But you just need to go to them and say, look, man, I'm not going to be a problem for you, because there's, you know, there's no reason for somebody to take little money. Now, here's the other thing. If you want to invest in real estate, you can put money in these real estate funds. And it's an easy way. You open up the, you know, Barron's or Wall Street Journal, and you're like, oh, there's a real estate fund. I'm going to invest $10,000 in it. The problem with it is you're not really investing in real estate. You're investing in people, and layers of people and administration and buildings. And I don't mean buildings that you're renting. I mean buildings where they're housing themselves. And this cat's in New York, and you know what? He doesn't take the subway. I got to tell you, he's not taking the subway to his job. He's taking a freaking town car every day that's charging him $275 a day to bring him, drop him off, and pick him up and bring him home. And you're paying, when you invest that money, there's thousands of investors that are piling money into this, and they're hopefully doing the right thing with their real estate. But I would try to find a smaller version of that where you know who's running it. They have more money in it than you do. Jared, when he invested in this deal that we did, I had already bought the deal, closed on the deal. It was cash flowing already. I basically had made my investment. His money's just riding on the top of mine. He's hoping that I'm going to do the right thing. It's kind of like my daughter riding on my shoulders. You know, she just gets taller by getting up on my shoulders. Don from South Carolina. Hey, Don.
Oh, hi.
How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good, man. I'm doing so good, man.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, what you blowing on, bro?
Oh, no. I just got a bad cold.
Oh, man, you ain't got the Ebola, do you, man?
No.
You been to Liberia recently?
Oh, hell no. I'm an American. I stay here.
Okay. Dude, there's 4 Americans that got Ebola right now. They just happen to, you know, they were making a visit.
Yeah, but they're down in Texas. They can stay there.
Okay, what's up, man? What's up?
Not much. I just got some. You like apartment complexes?
Dude, I love apartments. I love them so much.
I know. I seen your thing. I seen the thing you did on them. I just got a couple of 123 and 137 unit. You might be interested.
How many? Okay, tell me the deal you got. Lay the deal out. We're going to do this for the viewers right now.
All right.
Where's it located, first of all?
Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach. I like Myrtle Beach. Okay, how big is it?
First it's 123 unit portfolio.
123 units. That's not a portfolio.
All right. Well, it's got 2 separate complexes.
Okay, that's 2 complexes. That's still not a portfolio, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you how it goes here. It's got
go ahead. I can tell you exaggerating. See what you know about the. Are you a broker on the deal or what?
Nope. I'm just an agent. I seen it, and I said, you know what?
Maybe I'll hook up Cardone and give me a little 2 parts.
Exactly. Let's just get to Cardone and see what he wants.
Let's see what you got.
All right. It's got a 72 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit.
72.
And that one is located close to the beach, close to the. Excuse me.
Dude, you really got to quit smoking, bro.
No, I don't smoke. I ain't smoked in 12 years.
Okay.
But close to, kind of the tourist areas and that.
Yeah.
And then another one is over in Conway, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah, Conway.
Over there by Coastal Carolina University.
Sure, I know it. I know the area, man.
It's got a 6 1-bedroom, 1-bath, and then a 39 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and 6 3-bedroom, 3-baths. Total price for it all, $8,750,000.
$8,750,000. Okay, what's the NOI on that deal?
I'm sorry, what was that?
NOI.
I don't know what it is on that.
Okay. So, hey, what I'm going to need on this deal, okay, the NOI, just so you know, the NOI is the net operating income. This is a term that you have to know. So I know for sure Don's a good guy. Sounds like a straight up guy. Could probably help me find this deal. Who's got the deal? Who's selling the deal? What it takes to buy the deal. We now know the price, but the price is not, like Dave said from Connecticut, the issue. Price is never the issue in apartments. I mean, certainly it'll come into play at some point. The NOI is the net operating income before debt. So one deal I gave you today was the cap rate. I gave you a term called the cap rate. If I pay cash for that deal, if I paid $8.7 million, what's the return on my investment? Now, I don't have $8 million to put down in one deal. So I'm going to want to know, hey, how much can I borrow on the deal? How much will a lender give me? That's really all I care about. Can I come up with the down payment, and what is the net operating income? NOI is determined, and everybody's going to ask you, what was the NOI? Do I want their projected NOI, or do I want the trailing 12? I want the trailing 12. I want what they already did. Because when I buy an apartment building, I assume that I'm not going to be a better manager. I assume a couple things. I'm not going to be a better manager, and the property will never go up in value. And listen to what I'm telling you. When I buy a deal, any deal, I am looking first to preserve my capital. If I'm putting $75,000 in, I never want to lose that money, ever, no matter what. I never assume that I'm going to manage it better. So I look at the trailing 12. I look at rents are never going to go up. I'm not going to manage it better. I'm not going to be a better manager. I'm not going to get lower expenses. I'm not going to figure out another way to cut the grass. I don't assume any of that. I assume shit's going to go. It's going to hit me. Terrible things are going to happen. This is right out of the 10X rule, dude. I'm going to get hit over and over with terrible economy. Problems are everywhere. Jobs are never going to grow. The economy's going to suck. Somebody's going to blow their brains out in the courtyard. One of my tenants is going to get Ebola. ISIS might make a visit. Dude, I assume everything's going to go to hell. I don't want to lose my money. Number one, I don't want to lose my money. Number two, will it cash flow no matter what happens? What if I go to the worst vacancy rate ever? Okay, so I'm going to look over time, the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, what was the lowest vacancy they had? You understand? So can I show that other deal that I found on LoopNet? Because I don't have enough data from Don to assess that other deal. I'm going to show you another deal that I looked at. Oh, by the way, that 8-unit deal that I showed you a few minutes ago, when I pulled up their income statement, it looked like such a silly little operation. And it's all handwritten numbers. I knew they were lying. For instance, I know Don doesn't know anything about that property, okay? Because when I asked him NOI, he's a residential guy. Anybody that tells you they sell everything can't help you with multifamily. They either sell multifamily and that's all they do, or they can't help you, period. So in this deal right here, this is $395,000. Okay, how much money do I need? You need 25 to 30% of the total price to buy that deal. I know immediately I need $120,000. This deal doesn't cost me $395. It costs me $120. So it says I could buy 8 units for $395,000. I'm like, no, it's 8 units for $120,000. I need to come up with $120,000. If you don't have that down payment, move on. Go find a deal that looks good, okay, or that you can actually buy. I like this deal. I like the way it looks. It feels clean. Can you show me the picture of the other one? Immediately when I see the picture of the other one, I'm like, okay, it's low roofs. Okay, you just see the difference immediately. This looks more like a house than an apartment. Looks a little sketchy to me. I know I got a different tenant already by looking at this one. Might be wrong, but my instincts on apartments have always been really good. You can feel the neighborhood. You can feel something. You can't see this on an income statement. I can see it in a picture. Okay. The other thing is with Google and search and maps today and looking from the sky, you can see so much about a neighborhood. One of the things I want to know right now when I look at an apartment deal, how close is Starbucks to that deal? How close is a dollar store to that deal? A 99-cent store? Because those are two different neighborhoods. You're not going to find typically, unless you're in LA, you're not going to find a 99-cent store next to a Starbucks. Also, you're not going to find some cheap apartment building next to a Starbucks. So you got to understand that could be good, could be bad, whatever. Okay. You just got to start assessing all the data. There's not one piece of information here. I'll tell you this is a simple business. This is a business that preserves capital, provides cash flow. Let's just look at this deal. I think they told me it's $3,600 a month in rent. No. Let me just take a look here. What's the name of this deal? Yeah, this deal right here, $395. Here, I'll find it on LoopNet. Again, I go back to LoopNet. My number here is 305-865-8668 if you want to call in, 305-865-8668. This is loopnet.com. I'm going to go back and find this deal. The name of this deal is West Chase Apartments, Birmingham. 2-story brick structure with connections, 8 units. It's $49,000 per unit. The per unit price is important. It's $49,000 a unit. So, for instance, in Miami, okay, just paperwork to build a unit here is about $30,000 a door. That's paperwork to the city. So I can go to Birmingham right now. Is this Birmingham? Is that what it says? Yeah, Birmingham. Sharpsburg Lane, Birmingham, 1601. $49,000 a door. In Miami, I can't build that unit for $49,000 a door. The paperwork alone, before I put a brick, a stick, or a piece of cement, okay, before I lay cement, is $30,000 here. In some cities, it's $60,000, $75,000 per unit just to get permitted to build one. Now, I do know this about Alabama. Alabama doesn't like building, okay? They don't have a lot of apartments in Alabama. Alabama is a tremendous market. However, a lot of people know Alabama's really good right now, and this is what happens nationwide. And because the prices in Alabama have gone up and other parts of the country have gone up, actually me paying more money in Miami is actually a better deal. I don't know if this is too confusing, but because of Miami and the location of Miami or San Diego and the restrictions of building in San Diego, prices in other markets like Birmingham becoming more expensive today, even though this doesn't look like it's that expensive, can make other markets better. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not. It might be too complicated. So this says to me that this property, that I need to call the agent to get more data, to get more information. So I'm not going to be able to find the NOI without calling him. Could be good, could be bad, but I think it's worth taking an interest. It's $50,000 a door. I'm going to have to put how much down? $400,000. I got to put $100,000 down, right? I'm going to finance $300,000. Okay. Does it make money? Okay. Price doesn't matter, folks. Location matters. Condition of the property matters. And most importantly, will it produce income? Do people want to live there? Lastly, and I'll wrap this up with this, okay? The terms you need to know: cap rate, DCR, price per unit, underwriting, trailing 12. This is a way to preserve capital, protect yourself forever, create multiple flows of income, use leverage. See, because for this deal, if I pay $400,000 for this deal, I'm going to finance $300,000. I'm going to put $100,000 down. Where do I get that money from? If you don't have that money, go look at another deal. Okay? Don't go spend your time trying to raise this $100,000 right now. Go buy another deal. Go drop down to $80,000 and put $20,000 down and finance $60,000. You can get a loan on this. Anybody will give you a loan on this. Why? Because this produces income. You're buying a business. Don't let anybody talk you out of this. I'm telling you, this will be the single best investment you make for your family, your future. This is a way to preserve capital. It's a way to get a second flow of income. It's a way for you to step into the world of real estate. This will never be destroyed. It can never change. Is it work? Absolutely. Is second money work? Sure it is. Okay. Starving is work too. Staying poor is work too. The Cardone Zone is about getting you free. If you're willing to do whatever it takes, and you're not going to take shortcuts, and you're going to do your homework, and you're going to research the area, and you're going to learn about the space. I spent literally 5 years researching real estate every weekend, shopping hundreds and hundreds of products, units, properties in Houston, Texas, and San Diego before I ever bought my first deal. So do your homework. Do your research. Anything I can do to help you, please, all you got to do is put it in comments. If you've already subscribed to Whatever It Takes Network, put it in comments, and I'll answer your questions tonight. Every Friday now, CardoneZone, 1 p.m., put it on your schedule. If you subscribe, I'll get you a notification that we're doing the show. The next real estate show will be in 3 weeks. By then, I will have accumulated your questions. If you have a deal that you want me to look at, send it. Send a link to the deal. I'll look at it. And the next time we meet here, I will tell you whether to buy it or not buy it and whether you'll make money or not. Okay. I've done 35 deals in the last, 20 years. I've never lost money ever on an apartment deal. I made a lot of money on them, never lost money. Know what you're doing, know the location, have the guts. The first thing you need to do is get the freaking guts, and that comes from certainty, knowing what you're doing. Thanks a lot. This is Grant Cardone. Have a great weekend, super weekend. Who knows? Maybe this will be the start to your real estate investing career. Have a great one.
There are 7 billion people in the world. Who are you? How are you different?
7 billion people on planet Earth. There's a small portion of them that want greatness.
Seller Be Sold, book and audio package.
You can't get away from this idea that you just have to sell more.
Voted the #1 business sales book by Axiom Gold Awards. Now, for the first time ever, in audio, read by Grant Cardone. If you want to get your way in business and in life, call 800-368-5771. Seller Be Sold, book and audio package. Call 800-368-5771 today.